Alex is going to talk with us a little bit today about the college experience.
Sure. So first of all, I think this is something that a lot of parents are very afraid of. You know, your kids could be in elementary school and you're still thinking about college. You might not even be born yet and you're thinking about college. So it's a daunting thing, and parents want the best for their children, of course. Obviously, autism adds another complexity to that because you worry about your child living independently, being able to cope without you there to fix things and to solve the problems. However, and I think this is something that is incredibly important to stress, it's important to be able to let go, because college is a very important learning experience, not because of what you learn in the classes so much, but mainly because of the life lessons you learn and the independent living skills that you have to develop. It's sort of a sink or swim sort of proposition. And I know a lot of you want to sort of go to a community college maybe and sort of test the waters, and maybe that's a good idea for certain cases, but I think that the best thing to do is to send your kid off to a school that's at least a little bit far away so you aren't there to save him. And the worst case scenario is the kid fails all his classes and drops out, you know, and then you go to the community college. But I think that most of the time that's not going to happen, even in cases where you're deeply afraid that will happen. When I was applying to colleges, my parents were really worried, and I went to school 2.5 hours away from where my parents live, so they never came to visit. My parents don't like driving more than 30 minutes. But initially, yeah, I had a lot of troubles, and I failed things, and I failed a class or two, and I learned from those mistakes. And it's one of those things where you need to learn those lessons as someone who's developing, someone in that age range. And dorm life is another thing that you need to learn. So while you may have a kid who's having trouble, can't take care of things without you there, it could be that the child is doing that because they haven't really been forced to adapt. And I think it's really important to let go. Second, I think that your child needs a school. Sorry, I just misspoke.
That's all
wow,
right.
That was funny. Second, I think it's really important to choose a school based on your interest. So whatever the child's interest is, the high schooler, I guess young adult is more of a correct term. Whatever this young adult's special interest is, choose a college that has that special interest as a concentration where you can major in that subject and has a good program in it. Second, you need to think about disability services at the universities. However, you could find a school with great disability services program, and halfway through the school year, they could quit and they could hire someone else who doesn't know anything about autism, and starts to make it hard for your kid to be able to take extended time on tests, has to fill out forms. That happened to me.
Really?
I had the awesomest disability services administrator. She ran the program great, and all of a sudden she got hired away for more money through another university, and the guy who came in all of a sudden started requiring all these forms you had to fill out. Let me tell you something. For someone who's bad at executive functioning, adding forms into the mix, which the other kids don't even have to do. You don't have to fill out a form to take a test. And the worst part is that they told me that I had to do it for pop quizzes. Oof. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to do it in advance for a pop quiz? Because they're like, well, you're just going to have to figure it out. What I found is the best thing to do is to speak one-on-one with your professors. If you're a kid in school, the best thing to do is to go up to your professor and say, listen, you know, there's a lot of red tape. Maybe we can work something out so I can take extended time and not have to worry about the disability services. I tried this with one professor. I was really at a loss of what to do. I was freaking out because I hate it. And she's like, yeah, you're right. There is a lot of red tape. Yeah, it's a great idea. I hate dealing with those guys.
Awesome. So great. So you found the solution to it, and the solution made it easier for you to do what you needed to do.
Exactly.
Remarkable.